Fired up, footballers. Welcome back to another episode of Spitting Postgame. Jeffrey and James here with you as always. First and foremost, I'm sure you guys were wondering, yes, James sunk his PK, buried it. Sparky had no chance. Right corner. Check it out. It's on YouTube. But let's talk about really why you're here. So the Fire won, James. The Fire won 1-0 off of Kevin Ellis goal. Hey, look, another Kevin Ellis goal. What did you see that first half, James?
Well, first half and second half, I really don't feel like the Fire were the better team. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like they were the worst team. I felt like, wow, we just saw like two, 12-pound bowling balls just hit each other at the same amount of force, and just by the luck of the clang, we're on home field advantage, so we get that extra little mile per hour, and boom, there it is, again snuck over in the 89th minute by Kevin Ellis. Who, incidentally, Jeffrey was calling for pretty much all
the whole game.
Not the whole game, half the game. The first half you weren't worried about. The second half, you started calling. He's like, "Get Ellis off!" I was supportive of it.
Well,
and then the 89th minute happened, and Ellis scored the game-winning goal. And I looked at Jeffrey.
All our guys did. All the people around us were like, "Hey, your guy scored." I was like.
Well,
I mean, he's serviceable defensively, yes.
Offensively, he leaves so much to be.
I just wanted to get a wing back, someone that
you wanted to get someone more offensively orientated.
But hey, he proved me wrong, and he
provided the offense.
Hey, I can't complain. Shut me up.
Yeah, we'll get to his performance.
Anyways, I missed talking about some stats. So the Fire had 62% possession when Montreal had 38.
What?
Fire had even. Nope. Fire had 12 shots, 5 on target. Montreal had 14 shots, 2 on target. I normally don't talk about this stat, but I also want to bring up 8 corner kicks. 8 corner kicks
for the Fire.
Man, I remember leaning over to you a couple times and I said, man, I think my girls' soccer team, takes corner kicks better than this club. And gosh, those corners were awful.
They were not dangerous in the least. No. Almost every one of them was just a high floater, giving everybody below who are thinking adults time to not panic and just to be like, oh, okay.
They're not driven balls.
They're not driven balls. There's nothing to panic about any of those corners for a defensive standpoint.
Well, now it was Brandon. Now I think Katai was taking them
too.
But anyways, let me give my take on the first half. So like James said, it was kind of bland. I agree. There wasn't much going on. I think the Fire did a great job defensively. I think the last 2-3 games they've been pretty sound defensively, and credit to Pono, credit to the lads for fixing that. I liked what I saw defensively, but going forward, our offense struggled, and I wonder if maybe we game planned a little too much defensively. I like what Pono's been doing with their superstars. Piatti, right? He had Mo Adams draped the whole game. Last game against Atlanta, they had their 2 studs, Elmiron and Darlington Nagbe draped by Collier and Mo Adams. So Pono's been doing some things defensively, and he's been getting that right, but now we just got to get the offense going. I mean, I said it. You were surprised. We had 62% possession.
We did nothing with it.
But we don't do anything with it.
And on top of that, here's going into what I did see from that half, from both halves really, is I saw a very engaged defensive unit, but offensively, tatters. They have no idea. Yeah. They have no goal. They have no game plan. They have no focal point for their offense, which you see with the Giovincos and Atlantas, with Toronto's, and you see with the Almirons with Atlantas, where their game plan is get the ball to our playmaker and see what he could do. Our game plan is not to get the ball to Katai. Our game plan is not to get the ball to Nico in dangerous places, and that is what was very alarming in this game, because we saw it. Let me finish here. Gordon and Nico, both defensively. Part of it played a little more effort in than Katai, who played lower in the field than both of them. However, going forward, they were useless. They would come back and play like maybe a false 9 type where they could get the ball, make the layoff pass, play as a hold-up player. But past that, in those first 2/3, they were great. But going into the final third, they never got the ball, ever. Yeah. The best shots we got were from 2 back heels in a row from Alexander Katai, who it almost scored. It would have been crazy, cool highlight reel goal if it did. However, we're not seeing any of the creation that Katai should be bringing. One thing Katai kept doing early in the match is he kept going out wide. he kept getting pulled out wide because he's used to
where
where the space was because there's two strikers in front of him. But he was really meant to be the engash, the link to and he at first that's why we struggled there at first. And the chances were so hard to come by.
He's more all game. Watching him now, he's more of a selfish creative player, right? He's going to get himself involved. Can he get other people involved?
Absolutely.
Yes, he can. But that's more so going to come from him beating a guy. He's not necessarily going to spring people. He's going to beat a guy and then spring someone, right? So
that's what a playmaker does. Yeah.
Not necessarily. Like, I think Nico makes great runs.
Yes.
I think Nico makes brilliant runs. 90% of the runs Nico makes.
Never rewarded.
No player, I don't really see any Chicago Fire player that sees the runs. He's making the run. And that option isn't even, going across that Chicago Fire player's head. Funny thing is I remember the first couple games watching Chani. Chani actually saw those runs. Now, I'm not advocating for Chani to go in.
By no means.
I saw Chani was able to see the runs. He just couldn't play them.
He couldn't make them. He didn't have the ability. He saw the runs.
But people aren't seeing these runs that Nico makes.
No.
And like you said, to your point, I wonder if Pano's focusing more on defense, and hence why we've seen it fix. And I wonder if maybe since this focus has gone to defense, maybe we're just concentrating a little bit too much on it, and we're not scoring.
I saw two soccer games played this week. I saw your girls play in a game, and I saw the Fire play in a game. And your girls can score goals to the point of where it was a 5-0 blowout. And one thing that was really impressive to me about seeing your girls was the balls that they played out to their wings. The balls that, like, you would expect a Dax and a Basti to be able to provide, a Nico or whoever's on the wing or even to your forwards. It's just the passes that your girls were making are the simple, easy, British-style passes of the overlap are not being made at any point in this season.
I agree.
And I'm shocked.
Because there's no one out there. There's no one out wide to get these balls.
No.
Last year, Brandon Vincent and Matt Polster were huge, highly influential in the Chicago Fire's attack. I mean, they got up and they hit these early balls in. Maybe they got end line and hit negative balls in. I mean, our fullbacks last year were a huge part to our offense. Because, I'll be honest. Last year we had some of the similar problems building in that creativeness. But we had Brandon and Polster whipping those balls in, and then we had people running in and scoring chances. Man, why can't we get that going again? Why can't we get that going again? Let's talk about the second half real quick because we've been.
Campos came in and really helped change the game. What he was doing was everything that no other Fire could really do, where he would facilitate. He'd do give and goes. He'd get the ball, he'd pass, he'd make a run, he'd get the ball back, he'd turn, look around, see what he could do.
Kind of like what you saw El Marone do.
And what I saw him do after that, those plays created space, and all of a sudden they were on a few more breakaways because of Campos. And I was like, that's the creation I was looking for happened as soon as you inserted him.
Well, the second half was definitely different. I think the first 15, 20 minutes was more the same. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, the whole half was more the same. I guess there's just more. There's just different personnel in. He took off Alan Gordon. Took off Nico. Who else he took off a tired Mo.
Took off tired Mo Adams and put in Collier, Campos, and Daniel Johnson for an appearance.
And Daniel Johnson got in. And again, like we said, it was a little bit more of the same.
All three of those subs?
I thought they were okay.
Quality.
Yeah, I thought they were good.
I'm okay with all of those subs.
For Daniel Johnson's 10 minutes, I thought he was pretty good.
We need to see more of Daniel Johnson. I want to see more of Daniel Johnson. I want to see more of Campos. Collier, in his limited time, coming back out there as a super sub, he proved why he should be starting over Gordon in those instances. He's way more mobile. If you're going to put somebody out there for 60, 70 minutes, you put Collier out there for 60, 70 minutes, then you put your super sub of Alan Gordon in for your last 30.
Here's my thing. It's funny. You finally had a game where you can ask Collier to play his normal position.
Yeah.
And you didn't. You didn't start
Still
him.
didn't. Let's move on to the player portion real quick. Because
we didn't say that. We didn't say that Kevin Ellis goal. You want to say
Kevin Ellis goal just had the ball.
Got on the 90th minute.
90th minute. He's coming out of the corner. Didn't really have too many options presented to himself from helpful players. And he's like, you know what? Chuck it. And he just scooped it at the net. It was like a half shot. And it just skittered past the goalie. Deflection skittered past the goalie. Evan Bush, the goalie for Toronto,
Montreal.
For Montreal Impact, didn't even move.
So,
it just didn't even think it was going in. So
another goal for Kevin Ellis.
A stutter and a game winner. Mm-hmm. So let's go to the our performance part of the show. Richard Sanchez in goal. I thought he had a stellar night once again.
He's good.
Clean sheet once again. This kid is stacking up clean sheets like Matt Lamson never could.
Yeah.
And I really hope that Iker Casillas is not in the chamber.
No,
about to
I
be
think it's
wheeled
really.
out.
I think the clean sheets are a huge positive going forward for the Fire. Like I said, I think Pono might be maybe he's emphasizing defense too much, and as a player, when the manager's emphasizing that, that's in the back of your head. So I would like to see us, not be. I want us to go forward a little bit more.
Brandon Vincent. You know what? He's been trending upward the past 2 games in that I'm noticing him less, and that is a good thing because when you're noticing more, it tended to be for the bad things where he was just not quick enough to his mark. He's thinking less and he's playing more, and I'm seeing some good things from
I got
Vincent.
this next guy, Grant Lillard.
Rookie of the year, let's go!
I am we are very, very impressed with Grant. Defensively, nothing gets over this guy's head, obviously. And for a big guy, he can move.
He's pacey.
And my favorite thing about him is typically when you see these big, giant center backs, they're clumsy on their feet. They don't like the ball at their feet. Not Grant. Lillard was super confident on the ball, rarely lost it. His passes were perfect, even under pressure. Huge find going forward.
Kapelhoff has to be getting more and more relieved every game. He's like, wow, this guy, he can cover for me in a way that Jaumira really wasn't able to.
Well, different players, different
styles.
Yeah.
Kapelhoff, another stellar game from Kapelhoff, I thought. Kapelhoff and Lillard, if they keep stringing these games together like this, we're going to be even harder to score on.
They are so much more comfortable in a flat back 4.
Absolutely.
Much more comfortable in a flat back 4.
And let's go over to our right back, Mo Adams.
Oh, you put Mo there?
Mo Adams essentially played right back for the entire game, as long as he was in. He was basically man-marking Ignacio Piatti. Their best,
he did a great job.
Montreal's best player, out of existence. Marked him out of the match totally, basically. But in doing so, when you take one player out of the match by putting one player on him, it leaves the Fire to play only with another less guy too.
Yeah. Well, and then Mo had a great game, and this I guess brings us up to a next guy.
Offensively, he wasn't anything we needed, but defensively, he was everything we needed.
Well, and you got to wonder. You take Mo out, and you're taking Piatti out, but then now you're asking Ellis to do more offensively, and it's funny because he scored. So here am I talking about his offensive production. He scored twice.
He scored twice
in the past 2 games. And here I'm talking about offensive production.
Probably the most he is going to score.
But I'm going to be honest. I'm talking about Kevin Ellis. Defensively, great. Very good, very sound. But, when he had the ball at his feet, black hole. He lost it. He's just not comfortable going forward.
It's not a black hole, per se, because he does lay it off fine.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as a creation outlet, of which you've depended on that spot very heavily as a Matt Polster spot, he's just not a facilitator. Yes. He's not creating, and that's what you usually get from a wingback.
And that's why I was calling for him to come out. And then, hey, proved me wrong.
But he proved you wrong. And
Blind Squirrel finds another.
And I got to say, Ellis keeps finding a place for. Ellis has a place in this team as long as Matt Polster's out. Absolutely.
Oh, Matt Polster's gonna be huge. Anyways,
let's move on to Dax McCarty. Dax McCarty had a great game. I thought
Dax had a good game.
A great game in the pivot. Just running around, stuffing everything out as per usual, doing the little things that Dax has to do. Sometimes covering for players when mistakes are made. Dax makes up for a lot of problems.
I really like the flat back 4 because when you have players like Bastian Schweinsteiger and Dax McCarty, with that 3-back system, you couldn't have one of them drop because there was a center back here. Now it was great. You had both those center backs wide, and you had Dax dropping centrally in between those center backs.
Sometimes it was Basti, too.
And sometimes Basti, and they love doing that.
Both of them do.
They love doing that. So it's great that we have that option again.
And they both seem to be going, it seemed like Basti was coming to one side and Dax was coming to another. And Basti, another good game for Basti, just doing what he has to do.
Yeah, I think Basti had a great game, working hard.
Being one of our main facilitators whenever he has the ball, and just being our all-around.
It's funny.
He's the maestro on the field. You see him when he has the ball at the feet a lot of times this game where he's like, Lillard, come with me, and he's like, over there, you there, and he's got the ball, and the other team is just terrified to attack him. They can't even touch him.
I love watching Schweinsteiger's neck. He's just like, always just what's left, what's right, what's behind me, where's my teammate? It's just so much fun to watch Schweini.
All right, let's move on up.
Next?
Alexander Katai. I thought he had a meh game. On statistics-wise, I saw that they said that he had a good game. There was just too many times. There was a couple times where he just didn't flash enough. Wasn't doing his defensive responsibility question pops up again when I saw Nico and Gordon coming back and putting more effort on defense. Yeah, he's not even willing to put a leg out.
Well,
but offensively he did create some stuff. He was for the first half. He was the most creative player out there outside of Basti.
I don't necessarily feel like he makes the other players around him better.
Yeah.
I think he
doesn't. Does he make them worse?
He's like a Marco. What's his name? Arnautovic.
Yeah.
On West Ham.
Are you very selfish?
Very just kind of selfish.
All about
player,
me.
all about himself. I'm not trying to. Just the way that they play. I'm not talking about personality wise.
What he shows us. Yes.
And so, just with Katai, I don't think he's selfless enough to be a true Cam. He's a selfish player, and that's okay, right? That's what got him here.
He's cheeky. He's got some good cheekiness.
And so that's why he's almost better with the ball at his foot, dribbling out wide.
Rather than inside,
creative distribution.
He's a little too selfish.
He's a little too selfish to play inside.
Maybe that's what I like from Campos. Yeah. Campos, despite the fact that he never gets the ball, but he's unselfish. When he does get the ball, he'll turn, see what he can do with it. If he can, he plays it off, makes the right pass.
I saw some Almiron in him. I'm not trying to,
Yeah, I want to see a lot more of Campos going forward.
But I like that. But we got to get going.
And I want to see more of Daniel Johnson as well going forward. He's just always has some of those injury hiccups where he has that slight frame where it maybe makes it a problem for him to get on the field consistently. I don't know if he picks up a lot of knocks.
Wingers. It was nice getting him in because he was involved.
But
and he was wide.
Daniel Johnson and Katai having him those two on the wings and having Campos in the middle facilitated stuff.
I'll take Nico. I'll take Nico here. Nemanja Nikolic. Not involved the slightest bit. I think we've seen this 2-3
not
games
through his own
now.
fault because
he works his butt off defensively. I mean, he presses.
Offensively, too.
I mean, defensively, he presses. He hustles back for players like Katai. And he does make the runs.
Oh my gosh!
He makes the runs.
He's never getting rewards.
He's just not rewarded. I don't know if it's Pano. I don't know if it's the player personnel. I don't know what it is.
It's both of those, I think.
But we really got to get Nemanja Nikolic right. Now, I said some things on Twitter, and I agree that is his player type, right? He's a poacher. But just because he's a poacher doesn't mean you don't try to game plan things to get him more involved, right? It's almost like he has two bag of tricks. He has his poacher skills, but then, hey, let's get, the run of play going with him.
He's a run of play goal scorer. He could do that.
When we saw some highlights from Ligia.
From Polish league and from Ekstraklasa, and he could do those types of things, and that's why he's so good at what he does. Yeah. He's just an excellent finisher.
I think there's more. I think Nico's more than a poacher. I think there's more stuff there.
And the same thing goes for Gordon. Nico and Gordon both this game never got chances. They're never getting the ball where they want the ball to be in the final third. Where you will see some of the other teams get that ball in the final third, and they're getting that shot off Sanchez, and we're all holy crap, hold on, and Sanchez makes a save. But we're not even getting in the position to force the other team to make those saves. I mean, Nico's not getting these types of shots. Gordon was the better striker yesterday just because of his height, really. Just be able to bring it down. He was drawing some fouls.
A little bit more involved.
No, they both were equally involved.
Gordon was more of the checking striker, while Nico
would be the far
runner.
But they're not even looking for Nico on these runs. That's one thing. Yeah. And that's the thing we've talked about. Johnny was the only one who ever saw this guy making runs, and he just doesn't have the ability to make those passes. So Dax, Basti, Vincent, Lillard, poke your heads up, look one level higher in the field, and see where Nico's at, and see if he can make that run. Because guess what? Most of these MLS center backs are not that fast. Yeah, I know Nico's not the fastest guy, but he's got the skills and the abilities and the brains and the know-how to be able to get to the ball and be where he needs to be to help facilitate offense and create chances.
I mean, here's the thing. We got to end this.
We got to end this here.
We got to end this soon. But I mean, sometimes even if he's marked, you just hit a ball over the top, let him run onto it. Let's get numbers up and let's see what happens. But
only one goal on corners entire of all last season, and we're being set up for another similar one this season. We need to see just a little bit better set pieces, and if that means taking Katai and Brandon Vincent off and putting on Campos or somebody who could get a direct kick at, or Basti, do it. Because I don't need to see Katai take another floppy bunny air corner.
We need to get set pieces right for sure.
It's a teardrop.
If goals are a problem, right, you can score off set pieces. I think Pano has
take advantage of the chances that you do
Pano
create.
has instilled a press, and we've generated some chances there, just winning the ball back. But now we need to add those early crosses from our fullbacks again, and then just those final third balls just unlocking the final third.
That's about it from us, guys. If you guys enjoyed the conversation, toss us a like. If you have any comments or corrections to make, toss them down in the comments below. And always subscribe for Spitting Fire. Go Fire! Upcoming game coming against Columbus this Saturday at Columbus, and then we got Houston at home the following week on Saturday. Let's go! Bye, guys.